Back to the question of Jacob's wrestling in the night. Was it or was it not God? Now, one of the clarifications I gave to the objection is that the Hebrew Bible often uses metaphor and idioms that people unfamiliar with the Hebrew language may misunderstand. Random Coverage's objection to that was that, sure, that could be an answer, but when an account is given in such detail, certainly is not metaphor. To that I would have to say the Hebrew Bible gives various examples where it's explicitly not something occurring literally, and yet it's given in great detail. One example is the dream of Joseph. Joseph had dreams with great detail. The visions of Isaiah and of Ezekiel and so on. There was great detail in their accounts without anyone assuming that these things literally took place. Now, sometimes an account may not actually be entirely metaphor, but it is still nonetheless misunderstood due to ignorance of the original language, and that is definitely the case here. Number one, proving the interpretation or one's own personal interpretation of the Hebrew Bible by means of pointing out capital pronouns or lowercase pronouns in the Bible is meaningless. Why is it meaningless? Because there is no concept of capital letters and lowercase letters in the Hebrew language, just as there's no concept of capital and lowercase in Arabic or Persian or Urdu. So especially Muslims should be understanding that an interpretation based on this kind of approach is simply unacceptable. In Muslim tradition, there is a belief that ultimately they will see Allah, that will be part of the reward of the believers. How they understand and what way they will see Him is up for debate in the Muslim world. But certainly from a Jewish perspective, our eyes will never behold the essence of the reality of the Creator. It's simply impossible that whether mentally or visually we could grasp any aspect of His being, because His being is not something that can be broken into parts. It's either all or nothing, and to comprehend it all would mean that you are God.